I am Juan López Aguilar, Spanish MEP, member of the S&D Group, former Minister of Justice of the Spanish government, and the former chair of the Committee of Liberties, Justice and Home Affairs. I'm an advocate for human rights, fundamental rights, very much concerned about the issues that the Libe Committee cares for. And it's about time that the European Union makes a law to prevent the death toll in the Mediterranean. It is only clear that 90%, more than 90% of those who claim and get asylum in the European Union territory have made it here irregularly. And the reason is simple. They were not given a chance to make it regularly. There is not a single window of opportunity for those fleeing from despair, asylum seekers, to make it to the European Union territory regularly. And that's precisely what the humanitarian visa idea is about. It's about opening up at least a window of opportunity for a legal pathway for those in despair to make it to Europe legally, regularly. That would be a part of the response to a tragedy that we should not tolerate no more. The death toll in the Mediterranean. At least 30,000 people have lost their lives in the seas ever since the so-called refugee crisis got started. That is precisely the idea. Providing an answer, not to let it happen anymore. So we have to overcome so many difficulties to bring this humanitarian visa to a vote in the plenary. In the last plenary, November, in Strasbourg, we had that vote. And we overcome every amendment against, and we made it past every amendment for. But when it came the time of the final vote, we had been voting for 2 hours in a row. The president announced that it took the qualified majority, at least 335 votes in favor, to make it adopted. But when he announced that repeatedly, at least 60 members that had been voting all along the way for the humanitarian visas took the electronic card before time. And when finally the voting was shown in the screen, 60 members were missing, still in the plenary, but already withdrawn the card. That was the cause of the fact that we had 349 votes in favor, missing 26 for the qualified majority. Some of us did protest live in the plenary to react, asking for a new vote. That couldn't happen in that particular plenary, but the matter was brought to the Conference of Presidents, which is the ruling body of the European Parliament, and the decision was made that it should be put to a vote in the December plenary. So we have every chance to have this new vote December 11th. I am well aware that migration and asylum is emerging as a so-called divisive issue. But you know what? It is much based on false premises. False premises that have to be rebutted. It is not true that migration is an invasion. It is not true that asylum seekers are a threat against European identity nor European security. It is not true that migration and asylum is out of control in the European Union. On the contrary. But you know what is true? The truth is that those who ask for asylum in the European Union had to risk their lives and expose themselves to illicit trafficking of human beings and massive violation of the fundamental rights. Please be aware that we are here fighting a good cause, which is worth fighting, trying to adopt this legal instrument, humanitarian visas. And we would appreciate that this awareness brings the political pressure and the political support for those who are willing to build up a qualified majority within the European Parliament to have this initiative finally adopted in the plenary of December in Strasbourg of the European Parliament. Please help us to finally adopt this instrument and open up a legal pathway to make it to Europe.